consciousness. Let's go higher in our consciousness. Let's go higher, higher consciousness. Let's go higher in our consciousness. Let's go higher. The time's come for me to change the way I think, to change the way I feel, for me to go beyond what everybody thinks, what everybody says is real. Today I take a step into a time and space of peace and possibility, and here I'm gonna stay until I find my place, my true divinity. Higher consciousness. Let's go higher, higher in our consciousness. Let's go higher, higher consciousness. Let's go higher, come on, in our consciousness. Let's go higher. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step and one idea. I'm moving on, not knowing what is coming next. I'm getting close, I'm getting near to a part of me that touches everything, uniting all reality. I'm the middle between what earth and heaven brings. I am the I am the we. Yeah. Higher consciousness. Let's go higher, higher in our consciousness. Ooh, yeah. Let's go higher, higher consciousness. I'm on my way. Let's go higher. I'm going today. Consciousness. Yeah. Let's go higher. I'm gonna touch the sky with my mind, holding tight. Clouds passing by. I'm gonna touch the stars. It's not very far. There is no limit to how high I can fly. Let's go higher in our consciousness. Come on, let's go higher. You can go if you want to. Let's go higher. Let's go higher in our consciousness. Higher consciousness. Oh, yeah. Let's go higher. It only takes one step, one idea. Let's go higher. Let's go higher. Let's go. Let's go higher. Let's go higher. And higher. Consciousness. In our consciousness. Let's go higher. Higher consciousness. Consciousness. Let's go higher. Now is the time. Consciousness. This is the place. Let's go higher for us to higher.
Tepu. Peace and blessings. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. And welcome back. All right. I see the Osirians are lining up in the house. I want to give our greetings. Sister Dandria, Akita Warren, Carvin. Awesome. Well, I want to welcome you. My name is M. Tahuti Kamo, and I'm your host for a wonderful program tonight. I serve as an Orwa in the Osaraset Society, which happens to be the nation's oldest and largest Pan-African spiritual organization organized around Kamitic spirituality, celebrating this year 50 years. 50 years of love, 50 years of service, 50 years of reconnecting back to our sacred ancestors from ancient Kemet, from ancient Egypt, who are some of our greatest ancestors, some of the greatest ancestors of all the people in the world, who left us a path back to divinity. And I'm so excited and proud to be a part of tonight, where our founder, the person who set the tone, who set the example, who brought the ancient teachings back, and who has taught in the world, in the community, for now, I believe it'll be September, October will be 50 years, and 50 years of service. We're talking about predominantly free classes on a weekly basis, and sometimes 2 to 3 times a week, all done in service and as an example of our great spirituality, that we can bring the world to a higher consciousness. And we give a shout out to our great brother, Ankh Ra Amen Hetep, for that beautiful work that we opened up with. I see you, Shekin Madud, and Dia is here, Harisa Minonk, Idris L, Catherine. Oh, that's Sambita. We see you. Neti A Nesure, and Amut Amare, Stefan, Elizabeth, Baina, Morgan. Welcome, welcome. So glad you could be with us here. And to all of you that are new, all of you that are just being exposed to Kamitic spirituality, all of you who were turned on to that great book, The Meduniter, right? Years ago, and never got a chance to meet the author and the founder. We have such an exciting experience for you tonight, because not only will you get a chance to hear from him, you'll get a chance to actually put into practice the wisdom, the way of life, the meditation techniques, the words of power, the affirmations, all delivered to you in a wonderful, easily accessible package. So we're so excited about that. I want to welcome you. And before we get started, I just want to share with you what our topic is going to be tonight. So let's do that in one moment.
Have you been longing for a deeper spirituality to enable you to live a healthier, wealthier, and more successful life? To overcome stress and heal broken relationships? To increase your focus, mental clarity, and resilience to meet difficult challenges and capitalize on major opportunities? Maat, the 11 Laws of Health, Wealth, and Success. A guided meditation course based on the wisdom teachings of ancient Egypt will empower you to do this and much more. The course is designed by Ra Un Nefer Amen, from his 50 years of experience as a spiritual guide for thousands. His own meditation expertise has produced over 40 books and 100 meditation musical compositions, including the internationally acclaimed 7-volume Guided Kamitic series that established him as the world authority on ancient Egyptian spirituality. Your Kamitic meditation course includes access to member-only webinars and guided meditations that will deepen your understanding of the science of meditation and the divine laws that guarantee progress in life. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced meditator, you will benefit from all 11 modules that activate each of the 11 faculties of your spirit. Each module includes detailed instruction on the Kamitic Meditation script. This script, that was uniquely developed by Ra Un Nefer Amen, unites the application of the divine laws, affirmations, visualization technique, and mantras into a powerful meditation experience that gets results quickly. Now you can overcome the mental chatter and experience the healing of the meditation state in just a few minutes per day. Invest in your success and well-being. Get all 11 modules and save. Or get started with the 4 powers of the Divine Spirit that lays the foundation for your spiritual evolution. The course is delivered to your mobile device immediately, so get started today.
All right. Well, without further ado, it is my honor to bring to this webinar the founder of the Asarset Society, the world-renowned author, lecturer, and spiritual guide to thousands, Ra Un Nefer Amen, who we refer to in the Kamitic tradition as the Shechem or Shechem, as the leader of our nation. Necharak Shechem or Shechem, Ra Un Nefer Amen, and welcome.
Peace and blessings to you and to the audience.
Wonderful to see you in such a auspicious occasion, huh? Something I know you've been working on for so long, and now have the ability to enlighten so many more people. So we're here to talk about Maat, and actually a meditation course that puts in the palm of people's hands, literally, because now they can get it right on their mobile device. You know, you walk around today and all you see is people looking down at their mobile device and plugged in, listening to something. Now we have a platform where you'll be able to put that great instruction and wisdom that's benefited so many of us over 50 years in the palm of the hands of millions of people.
Absolutely. You don't have to go to some mountain or some jungle or some far off retreat to work on your spirituality, to fix your life. You can do it in the subways, in the Uber.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Shechem, this is a meditation course, and meditation is something that is very it's spoken about a lot nowadays. You know, people talk about meditation and mindfulness, and many people have attempted to meditate. I know I've heard many people in conversations say, "Yeah, I tried it, but you know, I'm not able to meditate well." You know, and other people seem to meditate a lot, but still find themselves trapped in, you know, their old ways. So can you share with us what is it that this meditation course is about, and what distinguishes it from things that we may have seen or heard or tried as far as meditation is concerned in the past?
Thank you for the question. Thank you. Very good question. Leading into what this course is about. You know, what we call the mind and the psyche are parts of our being that are responsible for our behavior, also responsible for the conduct of our lives, responsible for our destiny, how things turn out in our lives. You see that? This is what psychology calls the subconscious mind, meaning that your consciousness is not able to really modify your life directly. It works through what you call the subconscious, the soul, the psyche. You see that? Now, that's a hidden part of you. So meditation is a process through which you take your consciousness, take yourself into the recess of your mind, into your psyche, into your soul. You see, and reprogram it and program it to manifest harmonious conduct and to, manifest harmony in your body, in your social life, your career, and so on. So the thing is that, meditation is really a simple thing to do, but most people don't really understand it, claim to teach it, but don't really know it. And when people take this course, or people who have taken my courses over the past 50 years, they know that there are certain specific things that you must do. You must breathe a certain way. You must carry, your consciousness and your breathing a certain way. And you must also entertain certain specific types of thoughts.
Mm.
And this repeated over time will bring order into the functions of your body, your mind, your psyche, and the result will be, health, wealth, success in the things, all the things that you are attempting to achieve,
Mhm.
And, as the little clip that you showed at the opening, there are lots of people who say that they're going to teach you how to be successful. They have a success course. And the only success that they can show, truly success, is the course itself.
Mhm.
You see that? But I've written over 40, 45 books on spirituality and on different subjects, homeopathy, qigong, the different Kamitic, books and series, Kabbalah, yoga, astrology, and so on. So I was able to penetrate the knowledge of these different subjects through meditation.
Mhm.
You see that? Okay. So I'm passing these teachings. I have passed these teachings on to the world, through people who have come to my classes that we conduct in about some 30, 35 cities around the world. But now through this course, we are reaching out to the world at large. You see that where people, no matter where they are in this world, and even and the way space travel is going, I think people that are up on the space shuttle can receive this class as well. You see that?
Good.
So just give a call to NASA and have them beam it up.
That'll be the real beam up.
That would be real beam up. So the thing is that this class is over 50 years of teaching meditation, working on all the kinks to get people to really be proficient at it. But then when you meditate, you're entering into a special state where you can program your psyche, which is your soul, with the powers from your spirit. Lots of people don't know that the spirit and the psyche are two different things. The spirit is a higher part of being. You see, where the order and the know-how and the power, the real power resides. The psyche is the vehicle that executes, you see, the will and the mandates from the spirit. But if you have not cultivated the spirit, there are no mandates to the psyche and the mind. You see that?
Mhm.
You see? So this way, I'm able to pass on to people the things that I've achieved over the past 50 years. You see that? Okay. And of course, things that I've taught to thousands of people during these 50 years.
Yes. Happy to be one of those who caught a good percentage of it.
Yes, sir.
So if we could you go back to the beginning of how you started meditating and found your way? How was it that because as we're going to talk about in this course, not only have you made the bold assertion that within 10 minutes people will enter into a powerful meditation state, and you've proven that. You've also developed a unique concept of a meditation script, which ties all these things together, which is very exciting. But what was it that, in your experience, that enabled you to bring this insight to meditation, and how did you get started on that path?
Well, I started life as a musician. Since I was 4 years old, I studied the piano at the Conservatory of Music of Panama, and I had wonderful teachers that taught that piano is just not using your fingers and your hands. You play with your whole body. You have to breathe a certain way in order to focus and concentrate, and you have to concentrate in a specific manner. So I did this, not to meditate, but to play the piano well. And I did well enough when I graduated from high school. Then I got a scholarship to go to Miners College of Music, where I studied for 4.5 years. I didn't graduate. I didn't take my diploma. It was just 3 months. And I walked away disgusted by the racism that was in music, classical music, and things of that nature. And when I began to devote myself to spiritual studies, and I came across a book on, breathing techniques, the Dumo breathing of Tibetan yogis, and, and the Zazen breathing of the Zen monasteries in Japan, and Qigong breathing, the Nei Gong, Qigong, and so forth. I said, oh, they're teaching the same thing that allowed me to memorize thousands of musical notes and compositions, And I said, it's the same thing, And so I applied what I learned as a music student, the breathing and the posture and stuff like that, on to the meditation instructions in books, and was able to correct the mistakes that authors made. I was able to supply the things that they were missing and things of that nature. And as the years progressed and science, began to study meditation, I was able to apply the science of the vagus nerve and the sympathetic, parasympathetic. That's the yang yin part of the nervous system. And so I was able to by wedding these teachings, Western, psychology, psychobiology with ancient Egyptian and the shamanic tradition of Dravidian India, Indus Kush, the yogic tradition, the Kabbalah tradition, the Taoist tradition of the Chinese, and so forth. There's a saying in Chinese, in Chinese wisdom teachings, that a wise man should not eat dinner at home. He should travel around the world, because the knowledge that's going to save mankind has been dispersed all over the world. That's why we have to make peace with one another, respect each other's tradition. You see that? And not try to exalt yourself above others, no matter how high you have gone and things of that nature, and respect others and work with them. You see that? So, and also learn from your students, you see, because a lot of things that I was trying to teach, that some students were not, getting across, when they described their problems, it is then that I learned many things that went as part of the process. So it's a beautiful journey.
Yes. Yes. Well, one of those things that's very common is this thing they call the monkey mind, or people will say, I sit down and I try to meditate and my thoughts just keep racing. I can't settle myself. I'm never able to really focus, and you did a beautiful job of explaining that. Could you share a little bit about that? And was that something you discovered from feedback from your students?
Well, from many, many places. You learn from many places, right? But to get to the heart and center of this so-called monkey mind, the mind that just goes and chatters and mental chatter, which is the destruction of people's meditation ability, is simply that when you begin to focus your attention and quiet yourself down, you begin to enter into a state that is, your brain waves, reduce their frequencies. You see that you go from 23, 24 brains wave per second to about 13 to 10 to 7. And as the brain waves slow down, you begin to get sleepy. You see that? And when you begin to get sleepy, you lose the ability to focus. You see that? So, and that's what happened to people when they are focusing on one thought and trying to ignore, thoughts that drift in. They go into, the sleep mode. And so you cannot focus when you're almost asleep. It is just the opposite. You see that? So the thing is what the Zen masters of Japan discovered, and the Qigong, the Neigong, Qigong experts, they understand that you got to cultivate what they call the hara, or the lower dantian. You see that? And in Western psychobiology, they call it the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in the body. You see that? When you activate that nerve by breathing a certain way, and chanting certain words of power in a certain way, you wake up the waking brain centers. There are certain centers and functions in your brain that controls your wakefulness. So that as you meditate and most of your externalizing brain centers go to sleep, that's the left and right parietal lobe. You see that? Other brain centers, waking centers, come into play and awaken the prefrontal lobe. You see that? So therefore, you're able to remain focused, even though, the other externalizing waking centers in the brain remain functional. So you're kind of like awake, but not awake.
Mm.
You see that? The word medi, medi means what? The middle. So meditation state is a state where you are midway between awake and sleeping. You see that? So now you can conduct the dream process. You see that? When I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming, everything is so colorful and but dreams have a life of their own. I can't control it. That's the monkey mind. You see, the dream mind. But when I meditate and awaken the waking brain centers within me, I'm able to control and dictate what I am breathing. You see, so I can now dictate and guide, my subconscious to heal me. I can now dictate to my subconscious to attract wealth to me, to attract success to me, to also send me out to help others. Or I can send, a psychic message to help and heal somebody else. You see that? And that takes place in the psychical state, not in the waking state. You see that? You have to be midway between sleep and wakefulness. And that's the stance of meditation. Breathing a certain way and managing your consciousness in a certain way is really simple. My explanation may have gone over people's head, but when they get this course that I put together, it was very simple. It's more or less do it than let's explain it, kind of a thing, meaning that I have meditation, chants that I compose. That's part of this course. And in those chants, I guide people when to breathe in and when to breathe out, how to breathe in and how to breathe out. And that will lead them into that middle state, that medi state, that medium state. You see that? Yeah.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Ra Un Nefer Amen, Shechem Shechem of the Osara Set Society. He is a pioneer in Kamitic spirituality, in the resurrection of Kamitic spirituality. He's the author of over 40 books, including the 7-volume Meduniter series that many of us are familiar with, as well as he wrote a landmark work, Maat, the 11 Laws of God. And tonight we're talking about the fact that we now have available, it has been released and it is immediately available, this new course, and it is a on-demand, immediately accessible opportunity for you to learn from this master of meditation. So let me just show here. Oops. Oh, the registration form is popping up here. Let's see here. Okay, well, we'll come back to that and show you the contents of the actual course. Okay, so we'll come back to that. But Shechem, the content of this course, as you were explaining the process of meditation, it's centered around Ma'at. And a lot of people speak about Ma'at nowadays kind of as the principle of truth, of justice, and so on. Can you share with us why the course is centered around Ma'at and exactly what the concept of or what is Ma'at?
Okay, that's very good, right? In the Kamitic language, many words have multiplicity of meanings, but there's a main meaning. Same thing in English, but Ma'at means law. Above all the meanings that it has and associations, the most important are law and order. You see that? Meaning that, there's certain, we have faculties in the brain, in the body, in the mind, in the psyche, and the spirit. And they all must work in a lawful or ordered manner. You see that? Okay, when our psyche, our mind, and spirit are not working in an orderly manner, meaning in a lawful way, then our life is unregulated. And, this regulation in our faculties is what we call illness, what we call, bad luck, what we call is a source of failure, the inability to achieve our goals, to conduct ourselves properly, and so on. So this book, Ma'at, or the principle of Ma'at, the teachings of law and order for the spirit, mind, body, psyche, is what the Hebrew, the Jewish people, is a counterpart, is akin to what the Hebrew people call their Torah, which is the book of the law. What the Muslim people call the Quran, which is also the laws, the spiritual laws. But ancient Egypt also had the spiritual laws. They call them Maat. And this was the most sacred part of ancient Egyptians' teachings. You see that? The laws that govern the faculties that govern your life. You see that? Because if you're not manifesting all laws of the spirit, mind, and psyche working in an integral, orderly manner, your life will not be well. And this is what the teachings of Ma'at is all about. You see that? Now, where do we learn this from? Well, there's a faculty, your spirit has 11 faculties in them. The same way your physical body has a number of faculties, digestive system, respiratory system. Well, the spirit is also an entity with multiple faculties. You see that? Okay? So one of these faculties is the Ma'at faculty itself. When you activate that faculty and it's working in a vigorous, empowering manner, then now, it puts your mind in order. You see that? It creates order within the mind. When there's order in your mind, you are able to give orderly command and responses to the challenges and events in your life. You see that? Okay? So when this faculty is not activated and informing you and your mind, your responses to life challenges are disorderly or unlawful, or what we call sin or criminal behavior, unsocial behavior, or messing up in your business and so on. You see that? Disorder in the body is nothing else but illness. You see that? Disorder, when you fail in your business and in your school work and on the job, okay? When you are unable to use your psychic abilities to attract wealth to yourself, to attract good things to yourself, it's because your faculties are not working together in an orderly manner. Another way to look at it is that Ma'at is a holistic way of approaching the spiritual processes and functions within you. You see that you can, the same way in medicine, you can know a lot about drugs and different parts of the body, But if you're not practicing medicine holistically, meaning how all the parts work together, you are not going to heal yourself or heal others. And the same thing is with spirituality. There are these 11 faculties that you must learn to have them work together along with your psyche. You with me now?
Mm-hmm.
And Maat is the key to integrating everything within you so they can work together.
So these 11 faculties that you're speaking of, Shechem, which the course is organized around 11 modules, and each module is dedicated to a faculty of the spirit. When a lot of people look at this, what we call the Paut Neteru, and they're depicted as, gods and goddesses and things of that nature, a lot of us have kind of been programmed to think of this now as polytheistic or something that is not, of God or what have you. Can you share a little bit about where these 11 come from and what is really behind that when you say faculties?
Well, first of all, it is a Western man, and people who are not conversant with spirituality that define the faculties of the spirit as gods and goddesses. You see that? In other words, we are all aware of the fact that there are certain functions within our mind and soul that are responsible for the way we think, the way we act, our talents, and things of that nature, meaning that, and some of these are more powerful than our own consciousness and will. You see that? And that is why they were called gods and goddesses, because, they exerted greater power than we have, that we can exert consciously. You see that? But the thing is that there are really faculties that are under our control. They don't control us. You see that? In other traditions, for example, let's take in the Hebrew tradition, the Jewish tradition, right? What historians and Egyptologists call, gods and goddesses in the Kamitic tradition, they call them the spheres of the tree of life. Spheres, meaning areas of effect and, command and things of that nature, So the thing is that, these 11 faculties corresponds to the 10 spheres of the tree of life. You see that? Meaning, and when people get to study the tree of life, they find that to each sphere is allocated a mantra and certain spiritual abilities and faculties, meaning that, like Kether, on the tree of life, you see, is a faculty where unity, the unification of all the functions, in your psyche and the body, and your union with God in the universe takes place. Hakma is where wisdom is conveyed to you by God. You see, you receive. You see that, and then sacred, and so forth. Binas, which is not the sacred of the Kamitic tradition, is that controls your understanding and your destiny and things of that nature. So you see, the thing is that, Egyptologists have played games to demonize and malign, non-Western people. You see, they benefit from our knowledge, but they call them spheres in the tree of life. They call them angels and archangels. You see that, so that they can continue to, benefit from these teachings, without the stigma of being polytheistic, But Oser, Tehuta, these are not deities. These are faculties within your own spirit. You see that? Okay? The same way that your brain has a prefrontal lobe, a parietal lobe. In other words, the left parietal lobe controls the ability to crunch numbers and do mathematics or whatever, and it's beyond your willful control. If mathematics and mathematical thinking was under our control, then everybody would be a great mathematician. So that mathematical ability, manifests itself in a subconscious, involuntary, automated manner. We set it into motion, but it then does everything. You see that? So these are faculties. You see that? and you have to cultivate them.
Mm.
You see that if you ignore cultivating your Kessler, or your Brahma, as it's called in India, or the Oser faculty within you, or the Obatala, as it's called in the Yoruba tradition, you see, or the Utiwamuntu, as it's called in South African tradition, okay, then you will not unify yourself with nature and everybody around you and unify the functions in your body.
Mm.
You see that? So you have to understand that you have the same way that you cultivate your mind by learning mathematics, but you have to have the talent to start with. Cultivate your mind by learning music. People who are musicians, the scientists have found that on the whole, musicians live longer, healthier life than people who are not deeply involved in music.
Mm-hmm.
You see that's been, So what happens when you practice music, when you study music, it activates faculties within the brain.
Mm.
So African spirituality is about learning how to activate faculties within the brain, within the psyche, within the spirit, within the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? So, by using the power of colors and vibrations, and also by following the ideas and the principles that convey our understanding of morality, ethics, and union with God and the universe.
Mm. So the success program that this is designed around making sure that we activate each of these 11 faculties. We need them all. Is that right?
That's correct. Of course, you will begin to see results from the first faculty that you begin to activate. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But, and to the degree that you activate all 11, it will take some time. We recommend that you spend a month at least on each one, or two at a time, no more than two at a time. You see that? Okay. And at least for a month, every day for 21 days, serious work, you'll begin to see wonderful effects in your life. You see that? There are a lot of success teachings out there, mindfulness and how to get your mind together and how to be successful and so on. But the thing is that these teachings, they focus, they say, well, you got to be focused. But there's a faculty within you that you have to activate. You see that? Okay? Psychically and physically, you have to activate your prefrontal lobe through certain psychical and certain spiritual faculties within you. You see that? And once you awaken and activate those faculties, then you find yourself that you're very focused. And to be focused is one of the areas of success in life. People who cannot focus, they start a project and can't even go midway through it.
Mm-hmm.
They get, torn in all different directions and distracted and so on. Then when you can focus, you can also strengthen your psychic force to attract, good people and good things to you, or project your wellness onto others. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You see, and the thing is that success programs, they are focused on, activating your desire for what you want. In our system, this mundane things that you want, we acknowledge that you must have them. You got to have a decent, dignified place to live in and income or whatever. But that's the effect of you awakening your spirit, empowering your mind and your psyche, living a righteous life, and your reward will be all the good things of this world that you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yes, sir.
In that order.
All right. I want to welcome everybody again, those of us on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. And we also have some of you in the webinar room. And in fact, we have some people who have taken the Winter Solstice course. So from the webinar room, we have a question, Shekhem, from Belinda. And she says, how does this course compare to the Winter Solstice course?
Okay, Belinda, very good. I'm glad you're here. It's a pleasure meeting you here in this manner. How does it compare to the winter solstice? The winter solstice focus on one part of you, the set faculty, awakening and reawakening or empowering the Oser faculty, one of 11 faculties. And you did it by cleaning out, and purifying your 5 chakras. You see that? This course here, you're going to awaken and use and empower all 11 faculties of your spirit, just not the one main faculty. You see that? So that's the difference. Okay.
Very good. And I think I have my screen share working now. So let me show Belinda and everyone else what we're talking about here. If we can, let's see. Here we go. So yes, the course has 11 modules, and you can purchase them individually, one at a time, for only $20, $19.95, or you can save and you can get all 11 at one time, and it's delivered immediately to your mobile device. There's another option if you want to just get started. There's the top 4, which is Amen, Oser, Tehuti, and Seker, that you can get for $59.95. That'll get you started, and then you can come back and complete the work. So if you go to the page that we sent you, I'll also put that in the chat here. You can get all of the information about the course. And just to open it up for you to see the content, in this case, the first grouping, you'll see you have the audio player instructions, which is great. You can easily move through the course. It has a sleep timer, navigation. It also has documents that are attached that you can read the information, each of the modules. So there's a general introduction to Maat, understanding what the 11 laws are and how they're derived. There's a track with meditation instruction that gives you the guidance that Shechem was just speaking about in terms of how to enter into the meditation state, how to function in the meditation state, how to stay in the meditation state by refocusing yourself if you start to drift off. Very concise instruction there that guides you through that process of breathing and functioning in the meditation state. And then there is the meditation script, which details how to take the affirmations of the law and apply them to your various triggers of behavior. So your meditation is organized around that. Each of the faculties, you see Amen here, Oser here, Tehuti here. Each one has an explanation of that law, that faculty, how it functions, how we tend to violate that law, and how to cultivate the right understanding of that law, as well as the affirmations that will help us to embed into our mind the correct way of thinking according to that faculty. And then you get guidance on the mantra itself that's being used to activate the faculty, how to chant it mentally along with the breathing, some practice there. And then finally, you have a guided meditation where now that you have your meditation script together, you know how to go into the meditation state, how to recognize when you're in the meditation state, how to apply your script. Shechem himself guides you through that process of the actual meditation and indicates to you when to focus on your script and so on, right? And you have that for each of the faculties. So when you get the 11, you have actually 11 of these modules going down the tree of life, or you can start with the first 4. Or some of you, if where you're at, you just want to get one, you can start with Amen or with any one of the faculties that you know from your past experience you need to work on. You can do that. Each one of those is self-contained. So each module contains all the instruction that you need on the law, on the general principles, on how to meditate, on how to put your meditation script together, along with the documentation you need to do that, and the hekau, or the mantra of that faculty, and the guided meditation.
And we're going to be having webinars for people who have enrolled only to amplify, what is in the classes. You see that? We didn't want, if we had tried to really give people an amplified course, they would end up with something that would be too voluminous. You see that? And eventually too expensive. So this way they get enough to get started with this, and they can complete it. But then we will enrich in it with these webinars and so on. And at this point, I'm not providing additional services. Okay, I'm going to be putting people in place for what I'm going to announce now. Okay. And, probably in another 6 months, we'll have people that can assist you with certain things for a small fee. But right now, many of you have bought the Medunitary Oracle, the cards, and you have readings done for your destiny reading, your incarnation objective reading, projects, career, and things of that nature. And now you have a set of tools that you can use to do the meditations that the reading that you got is suggesting. Later on, 6-7 months down the road, we will put something in place where, certain priests and priestesses can assist you, with writing scripts. Because some of you, no matter how easy you make it, some of you might be in a rush and you have a very major project and you want to really make sure that everything is done well. So we'll have people to assist you down the road with that. But for now, we know that with what is in the course and the webinars that we're going to add to the course, that you will have all the guidance that you will need to improve your health, to improve your wealth, and your success.
Wonderful. So, Shekim, what you're saying is anyone who purchases the guided meditation course is going to be part of our community here, where for students only, they'll be able to have some private teaching on the different principles to help.
That's about 6-7 months. That's about 6 months down the road.
Wonderful.
Probably shorter than that, but we got to put the staff together and pricing and so on. Yeah.
But the webinars for group members, some person asked online, actually, welcome Maestro 427. He's on our YouTube stream, and he said, is the course or the module self-paced, or is there a calendar-based aspect to the course?
No, the course is self-spaced. On demand. You do it whenever you can. Hopefully you meditate every day, but it's up to you to set your pace. To work out your own schedule.
Great.
The only thing that we recommend is, even though you can buy each module separately, go top down. Start with Amen, or down, or Ser, Tehute, because the higher faculties, lay the foundation for successful working with the lower faculties. Even though you can achieve success by working directly, let's say with Heferu or Sebek or whatever, you will do better if, you are working with the higher faculties before. You see? Of course, if you have the oracle cards and you have a Sebek destiny, reading, and you're seeing problems, that are associated with that Sebek faculty within you, do your best, jump into it. You get help. You see that?
Yes. William Emmanuel asks, can we take the class through our computer if one does not have a cell phone? Yes, you can. You can do it right on the computer. And Shekem, you mentioned the faculties and your guidance to start from the top down. For somebody who's just hearing this for the first time, is not really familiar, can you give us an example of, let's say we start at Amen, which is the top faculty. What does that work look like? What does that faculty do in our life that is so foundational to the rest of the
That's a
the
great
life?
question. Very, very good. I'm glad you asked it. We know that peace, inner peace is extremely important, top of the list. If we're not peaceful in our response to challenges, our mind doesn't work well, we get sick, even, have a heart attack or stroke, derange our health, mess up our relationships. We just don't do well if we're not peaceful in our response to challenges. Now, the problem with the Western world is that they think that all I got to do is teach you that peace is of higher importance. But how do you maintain the peace? First of all, peace is governed by a faculty in your spirit. You see that? Your blood pressure is governed by a faculty in your body. The pumping of blood in your body is dependent on faculties in your body. Your ability to be at peace is not dependent on you knowing that it's important. It's not dependent on you getting a sermon about peace. You have to awaken that faculty and empower it and direct it to work on the things in your life. You see that? So that's the Amen faculty that you have to awaken within you. Or Ser, which is the next faculty that follows it. Okay, for those of you who do Kabbalah, that's Kether, Yoruba, that's Obatala, and so on. You see that? So in this South African, that's the Uti Bitongo faculty within you. You see? So the whole thing is for you to unite, be one with the universe, be one with your fellow woman and fellow man, for the functions within your body and mind work in unity with each other. It's a faculty that you have to awaken and empower. And that's the problem with Western culture, is that we give you all kind of affirmations, or be peaceful, be loving, be just, without understanding that your ability to be just is governed by faculties. We turn on our television today and we heard about some young man that went and shot up a whole bunch of people. That conduct was controlled by a faculty or faculties within this person that this person had no control over at the moment. You see that? But had this person, how could he have reversed that? Stop that from happening? Well, if that person had come into our course over time, you see that person would have, healed, the propensity to those behavior, along with other things, proper diet, et cetera, So a little caveat important there for you to understand that, this course goes with a healthy, clean living, okay? In other words, if you're going to be doing these meditations and, using alcohol, I'm going to say injudiciously, even though the FDA and the AMA say there's no such thing as, a limited amount of alcohol. Any amount is bad for your nervous system. But that's something that you need to check out yourself. So I'm just letting you know that a good, healthy lifestyle goes with this. But there are faculties. You see that people say, if you control your mind, you can control your destiny. Not so. Your destiny itself is controlled by a specific faculty that controls your destiny. You see that? And you have to learn to activate that faculty and direct it with the proper, wise, spiritual, affirmations. Use the mantra, and then live the laws that are the embodiment and the expression of those affirmations and so on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's 2. So again, I want to welcome you if you're just joining us. I have a message here that people were not able to see when I was sharing the screen. Let me know. Let's try that one more time. I think that's important. So I did put in the chat where you are the link that would take you to the website where you can learn more about the class, and you can also order. So let's see here. So hopefully you're seeing my screen right now. The course is bought in modules. You can buy them individually, or you can start with the 4 powers of your divine spirit, for example, here, Amen, Oser, Tehuti, and Sekert. And you'll see here you have the instructional course, the instructional tracks on the general principle of Maat, how to meditate, how to put your meditation script together. And then each of the faculties has 3 tracks, including a guided meditation. And this is accessible through your computer. It is made for your mobile device, since that's where the majority of people spend most of their time these days.
Oh,
So,
by the way, right? If they buy the all 11, right, or the first 4, they also get the audio, 11 Laws of God audiobook at a
yes,
50% discount
right.
for $15 instead of $30.
So on the Soundwise platform, our platform is called Soundwise. You'll be able to get access to the Ma'at 11 Laws of God. That's the foundational book that gives you the details. Wonderful book, and in an audio form, it's usually $29.95. If you get a module right now during our launch period, you're going to get 50% off. So you'll get that book for just $14.95.
That's if they buy the entire series or the first 4.
Right.
Not if they buy singles.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So at this point, Atefa, if you're online, just open up your camera and let me know. I did want to ask. Okay, I do see we do have a testimonial from a young lady, Shekma, if you would like.
Sure, please. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Peace and blessings.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Welcome. Appreciate you being here. We did want to let people know that Shekma has been teaching in the community this is the 50th year. And there are thousands of people around the world, in the United States and in the UK and in Africa and in the Caribbean and so forth, whose lives have been affected and touched by his teachings, specifically of meditation. And Ma'at Tefa from Brooklyn, New York, I wanted you to be able to share some of the powerful effects that you've had from applying these meditations to your life.
Okay. So, I mean, it's been many effects, but I'm going to just speak about one, and that was having a baby, giving birth. You know, it was, the thought, a lot of women are scared to have a baby. You're like, oh my God, it's going to be so painful, or I don't know, am I going to get a C-section? All these scenarios. And for Black women, birth is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought I was going to be able to meditate longer throughout my whole pregnancy, but I worked the whole pregnancy. And so it was getting close to that due date. And for 2 weeks, I did the Osset Tom meditation, and I visualized my person just very relaxed and being able to squat down and have the baby come out. That was my visualization, just seeing myself peaceful, just going through the contractions and smiling. And an older woman did tell me, she said, stay in the water. And I know the water means trance. Stay in the trance. Stay, keep reciting that mantra. Don't stop. And I was like, okay, I didn't get it at first, of course, until it was labor time. I was like, oh my God, I'm in labor. And so I just meditated, when I say non-stop. While I was in labor, I calmed my whole body down, did the mantra, do the on time repeatedly. I did not stop. So much that I didn't realize that I had dilated, and that if I don't hurry up and leave, this baby's about to come out on the bathroom floor. And so I'm like, I told my husband, like, okay, let's go. This baby's coming. And when I tell you the baby, I was so relaxed. I was really relaxed. And the contractions were not as bad. In fact, my nephews happened to be there and they were running around. And for the couple of moments that I had to step out and like deal with them and tell them to be quiet, or, I did feel the contractions more. And as soon as I went back in that trance and started reciting the mantras, I just relaxed. And we rushed to that birthing center. I did not get a chance to lay down. I didn't get a chance to sit down. Everything happened. I squatted. As soon as I walked in, the baby was coming out so fast. I had dilated so much that my husband had to catch the baby from coming out, because the midwife didn't believe that, you just got here. No, literally, the baby came out so fast and so smooth. I mean, I did have a couple stitches, but it was, if I didn't have that mantra and that meditation, I would have been holding on to a lot of fear. And I have to say that was one of the precedents in my life that proved the power of meditation and trance. So I really want to say Dua, because it's so many, thank you so much, because so many people, I literally just had a woman that I grew up with. She just passed away from having her baby. Mm-hmm. And so many Black women have these, the birth stories. And so we have the power of meditation to put you in that relaxing state was so powerful. So I just want to say thank you to you, Shekem, for the mantra on time, and to all of the women, that did it before me and were able to, help. So Dua.
Thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure people appreciate hearing from you, because when people hear about spirituality, they think that it has to do with just esoteric things. No, the purpose of spirituality is for you to have a good life here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Your job, your health, your well-being, your family, your career. That's what this module, that's what we've been teaching, the things of this earth, are there for the spirit. And the spirit is there for the things of this earth. Mm-hmm. You see, you don't separate the two. Just put them together. And thank you for sharing with us.
Yes, thank
you.
you.
Many people, are very glad for you pointing out the fact that, the CDC, has given us a lot of statistics how more Black women than other women die in childbirth and have all kind of mishaps in childbirth and so on. And the thing is that, we need to politicize, to get better, services and so forth. But if we use these meditations, two things will happen. We will protect ourselves the way you protected yourself, and we will also influence, spiritually and psychically influence the powers that be to give us the services that we deserve. Mm-hmm. You see, there are two ways to get your services. One is to act politically, and the other one is to act spiritually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too.
Thank you so much, Maat.
Thank you. That's wonderful, wasn't it?
Yes. So from what I understand, Shekem, that's going to be one of the features of the student class attendees only that will be able to be in intensive discussions and share and hear testimonials of some of the people who we have so many people over the years with miraculous stories of everyday, situations that they've been able to ace because of the meditation system.
That's correct. And this testimony, when people come on to these webinars, since most of the information is already in the course and in the book, Maat, 11 Laws of God, the people that come in with a testimony, many of them are priests and priestesses that will be able to explain how they did it. Because this is what it's about. This is, lots of people in spirituality, they get caught up in a lot of philosophical stuff, which is good. It's all good. But at the end of the day, you want to know, how do I duplicate that? You see that? Okay? There you go.
Exactly.
If were I a woman, contemplating having childbirth one day, or I would be calling back this young lady here, my telephone, to teach me how to do it.
Right. Right. And so wonderful, because her experience in meditation and going into the meditation trance before she was actually in labor is what empowered her to be able to apply it to such a challenging moment for a lot of people.
Yeah, but hear what she said. She would have been screaming and carrying on. Instead, she was relaxed and pain-free.
Yes.
You see that?
Definitely. Well, the hour went very quickly, Shechem. But before we wrap up, I don't know if you had any further thoughts that you'd like to share about the course and about what people can expect and what's coming up.
Well, we have covered most of it here that we need, because we're going to have other webinars. For those of you who may not buy the program, okay, we'll be having more webinars, next week, or maybe this weekend or whatever, where we will be adding more information, So I don't want to overwhelm people with too much at one time. You see that? So, like, for example, next week we could talk about, how to apply this how to apply this program, this course, to shoring up your financial position. I mean, we turned the news on today, and they're talking about the second largest bank failure in America, and the stock, value of banks that's dropping, and the big boogaboo, is around the corner. We might go into recession, the big R.
Right.
And things that nature. And the thing is that lots of people, the value of their, their savings and, will go down, and their 501, not a 501, their, what's the name of the IRA?
Yeah.
401k, and things of that nature. Don't worry about those things. Do your meditation, learn to use this product here, and you will be able to fix what you would otherwise not be able to fix. You see that? So we talk about that next week.
All right. Wonderful.
Okay.
Well,
thank you.
On behalf of everyone on Facebook and in the webinar room, and we have some people on our YouTube stream, I want to thank you for taking the time. I want to thank you for your intense effort to put this course together for us, and everyone online is sharing their appreciation. Yes. So we look forward to our next conversation. And those of you who came on late or didn't see it, I'll show the website one more time. I've just put it in the chat for you to go to. And with that, we want to say good night, Necharak, to Shechem.
I want to say one thing, one last thing you let me, right? And that is that the Maat was to the ancient Egyptians what the Quran is to, the Islamic people, and the Torah is to the Hebrew people. That's what Maat was to the ancient Egyptians.
Mm-hmm.
So just to put it into perspective.
Yes, sir.
Yes, important for people to understand.
Yes, and we need to bring it back.
They need to bring it. Well, it's back.
It is back. All right. Thank you so much, Shechem.
Thank you.
And that's your rock. And I want to thank all of you who joined us tonight. And I see a lot of familiar faces or names of faces. And I do want to let you know that if you happen to be near Philadelphia or want to travel to Philadelphia, we will be having our annual Atefu conference coming up on the Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend this year. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 26th, 7th, and 8th of May. So if you or the man, the husband, son, nephew that you love is going to be in the area, make sure you check us out and participate in our great conference this year. With that said, I'm going to close by showing the website one more time, and wish all of you a happy and healthy evening. Peace and blessings.
Man is a divine being, says the Kamitic religion. But the early part of man's life is dominated by the human faculties and limitations. The essential focus of the ancient Egyptian religion is then the transcendence of the human stage and the realization of the true and final state, the divine nature. Divinity is realized by adherence to divine laws, and it confers upon man access to divine or superhuman abilities, the elevation of her mental abilities and talents, and qualifies her to enter into a partnership with God. Medunater, Volume 6, by Ra Un Nefer Amen. I am
manner in which Kemet was able to bring forth the men and women from all walks of life who were responsible for its superlative civilization. Unparalleled